Well, now we're ready to mix up the Speedliner 1000. First thing you do is to get all of our equipment together. We're going to need a Jiffy mixer, and this is a nice blade because it has 3 sets of blades, one top, side, and bottom. It allows us to get to the side and the bottom without getting bumped off like a normal bow tie mixer would be. This is an air drill. We don't really need a lot of high speed. We do need something that's going to be more than just a stir. It needs to be kind of in between. We've got a flat spatula that we're going to work with, and we've got a timer as well. The next thing to do is to identify the raw ingredients. Here's the part A. It comes in a 1-gallon metal round can. Identify it. Speedliner, part A. Part B comes in a square container. Identify it. Speedliner, part B. A common mistake with some customers is the primer 450 that you're going to be using previously to spray on for adhesion promoting comes in very similar cans, and it's very easy to get the primer 450 B side mixed up with the Speedliner B side, and that just won't work. So the best thing to do is carefully identify the product. So A and B, and pigment. All of your pigments are going to come in pre-measured tubes. It's not better to put in more pigment. We've already pre-measured this to give you the right dosage of pigment to get the highest strength polymer that you can. Identified the materials. We have our equipment. So now it's time to mix up some Speedliner. Remember, 1 tube of pigment per kit, AB, of the Speedliner. This one is black. We've identified there's a small discrete tag on the side that's going to identify what the product is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shake up the pigment. We're going to put it in the component B. We're going to shake that. We're going to put it into the component A. And then we're going to mix with the Jiffy mixer. What's very important is that you can adjust the texture and the thickness or the viscosity of the final mix by how long you mix it. If you mix it for 1 minute, which we want to do today because we want to have the highest build texture that we can get out of it, we're going to mix it for only 1 minute, and I actually have a timer to measure this with because it is that critical, okay? If you want it to be thinner, mix for 3 minutes. It will be very thin. You won't hang a lot of mils vertical, but you'll get the thinnest coating that you can possibly get. So anywhere in between 1 and 3 minutes, you can change the viscosity. Even sometimes just stirring it with a flat spatula. We want to match the spatula to the can. On the primer we use a smaller spatula. This is a 1.5 inch wide by 8 inch spatula, flat, that works really well when working with the 1-gallon containers. Okay, so I'm ready to mix. Again, we're going to shake the pigment because sometimes it settles and packs to one side of the tube. We're going to open it up and we're going to put all the pigment in. Remember, 1 tube to 1. You never want to put the pigment in the part A first because it just won't do it. You compatibilize it in the part B first. All right, we've mixed it and we're going to put it in here. At this time there's no timing or anything, so you're on your own here. So no problems here. We're going to put all the pigment in. Looks good. Next we're going to screw the cap back on real tight. Okay, now I'm going to shake this maybe 15-20 seconds to make sure that we've got all the pigment mixed in there. Okay, it's best not to mix up the pigment ahead of time. You want to mix the pigment up maybe only about 10 minutes ahead. But if you have a lot to spray that day, don't mix up all the pigment first because some of the lighter colors may give you problems. That's it. Pigment's in there. Open it up, we're ready to go. We're going to pop the top off the component A. Looks good, nice and liquid. And we're going to pour all of the component B into the component A. Don't worry, it'll all go in there. We've pre-measured it just to help you out to make it more convenient. Okay, everything's in there. That's about as good as you need to drain it. All right, now don't sit around now. Once you put the A and the B together, it's time to mix it. So here's the Jiffy mixer, the drill. I'm going to put it in here. I've got my timer. Start my timer. Okay, we've mixed the material, and when in the mixing process, you want to make sure you go down and up and around so we don't end up with any A and B that are not mixed. So now it's time to quickly pour it into the hopper, and my assistant's going to come help me do that before the material gels. You've got about a minute or two to do that, but it's easier if we do it before it gels. And we're going to pour the whole thing in there. Get everything out. There's no need to scrape it. You want to pour it. So really, we've been missing about 2 or 3 minute window. So we're set. All right, thank you. So we put everything in the hopper, and it's going to continue to gel and get a little bit more stiff over the next 2 or 3 minutes. So what I'm going to do is give it a few more minutes, and then I'm going to go spray. It's really nice to take our larger spatula and just put it in there, and that helps in the spraying process. We can kind of jiggle it around and help scrape it, help feed the hopper. That's it. I'm going to need about 100 pounds of pressure worth of air to spray with. I'd like to have it dry, not spitting water out. Gives you the best job ever. The hopper. Check this out. You can see how well it's gelled. It's a nice, soft, creamy gel. And it's like pull it up on the spatula, you can see it's nice and creamy. That'll spray great. So the best thing to do is not to mix it too much with the spatula right now to maintain the good texture that we want to spray with. But I'm going to leave the spatula in there. I'm ready to go spray.